Scorpio, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for mid-March 2025. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes into energy and see what's happening for the lovely Scorpio collective. I hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here, my guides. Talk to me. What do we got for Scorpio gang here in mid-March? What do you got for us? What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card, then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Scorpio gang. What is the vibe? What's the energy swirling all around us here in mid-March? Is technically Pisces season still at the time of this filming, so let's see what's happening. Okay. All right. So for some Scorpios, this could be very good and creative. For some Scorpios, you might just have a lot on your mind. Okay. I mean, this card is pretty straightforward. I love the imagery of it. It always makes me smile. But like to me, it forks. It goes two ways. It's like, oh, cool, creative, or a lot on someone's brain. Before we fully dive into that, though, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the March subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, into the reading. Let's talk more about this lovely lady here. You see her with the beehive hairdo, and she has all these different artistic creative implements in her hairdo. So of course, now is a great time. And listen, as water signs, we naturally have a certain sense of creativity about us, whether it's music, whether it's writing, whether it's different types of art like sculpture, painting, any form of self-expression. Highly, I don't want to say profitable, but to me, it's just highly favored, if I were to say that. I mean, if some of you are in a creative business, then it could be profitable. But I really like this for letting emotions out. So again, I mean, both of them could merge too. If you got a lot on your mind or you're experiencing some intense feelers, maybe get that energy out in a creative way. However, the fact that she literally has a lot on her head, she has a lot on her mind. So for some Scorpios out there, you might be dealing with a lot of different things. Your attention might be in a lot of different places. Maybe you're extra sensitive to energetic stimulus in this time, and you're just like, oh, okay, these things are affecting me a lot. This is a lot. So just watch out for feeling overwhelmed with the amount of this stuff. So we're just going to put her down right there. She could keep chilling out with her stylish hairdo. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say the first card here doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Let's shuffle it up one time here for Scorpio gang. What do we got in mid-March, please? And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. It was pretty fiery. The reading was titled An Explosive Talk. So just know if you didn't have one come in, so whether that's a talk that popped up out of nowhere or one that got pretty hot and heavy, that could still bleed over for a couple weeks. That's how the energy rolls. But it was focused around talking and communicating one way or another. But let's see what shows up for you this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone, so only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else's, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards to start us off. What do you got for Scorpio, please? In mid-March, Hierophant. Okay, now for most signs I would be a little concerned starting with the Hierophant, but for us it's different because Taurus is our opposite sign. So I think this could be okay. I mean, it's a predictable energy. I think it's okay. I'm skeptical about it. So let's see what else shows up. Maybe there's something you're skeptical about. That's possible. What do we have here? King of Swords. Okay, there's a lot of authoritative type of energy floating around here up front. There's a lot of authoritative energy. Let's get one more. What do we got for Scorpio, please? I mean, the King of Swords makes sense to what we saw. And there's our power card. All right, so all of this energy is extremely intense to me with how it's like presenting itself, because it all feels valid. It all feels very powerful. Like there's a lot going on. Hopefully this isn't like a clash of some kind, but like each of these, it's just like strong, strong, strong. Let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes, then we'll get into that juicy intuitive stuff. But at first look, first glance, interesting mixture of things happening here. We do have earth, air, and water with our power card here. Now, I like when there's a mixture of elements. That's usually a good thing. That tells us either these are different situations or different aspects to the same thing. There's a little difference, and it's not too lopsided one way or another. But the fact that all of these cards do have a similar thread running through them is what's making me a little skeptical here. I'm like, that can't be a coincidence. So just know, for some Scorpios out there, you might be like connecting dots with different situations where you're like, that can't be a coincidence. That never happens on accident. Like, I'm getting this energy already. So this should be an interesting reading. Let's go through piece by piece and really start to build it out, though. So position number one, we are starting with the Hierophant. And as I mentioned, that one does link to the Taurus collective. And this card has a lot of symbolism and a lot of depth to it. So it doesn't just have to be Taurus energy, but like I said, that's our sister sign, right? Taurus is straight across from us on the zodiacal wheel. So this card, it's cool. Like, it adds to our strengths, right? And same goes for Scorpio to Taurus. It's like a yin yang type of vibe. Now, when I see this card, it is very predictable, and I'm going to give you some of the positives of it. When we see this card, it can represent power structures. It can represent corporations, governments, businesses. This could represent authority figures like bosses or people that call the shots. It could represent spirituality and religion. This could represent long-term commitments, whether business or relationship. It's like I'm getting into something and I'm committing to it for a long term. And it could represent your day-to-day life and schedule. It's not really anything that's thinking outside of the box. This is within the box. So it's like routine. So we could be looking about something from your routine life. But the challenge comes in with this card is that it could be too sturdy, too stable, not moving. So maybe you're dealing with a stubborn individual. Maybe you have a situation or a problem you're dealing with where it's like it won't go away, or it's like very stubborn. So we're going to have to see how this all plays out. I feel like it could be good, but I can't let go of this underlying skepticism I'm feeling ever since it popped out. So I don't know, maybe there's someone that you're doubting or you're very skeptical about. Now, moving to the center, we have the King of Swords. So although it's not a major arcana, so I mean, the energy's a little less than what we have here on the outsides. The King of Swords could represent an air sign, so Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, any of those. Remember, it's not gender specific. But the King of Swords controls his suit. So swords is communication and the mind. So just like we had in the very beginning, a lot on the mind, this could be someone that's either trying to keep their thoughts on track, they're trying to keep their head on straight. That's a vibe we could pick up with this King of Swords. It's someone that wants to control a conversation, possibly, or control a narrative. That could be a big thing with the King of Swords. This is a planner. We saw this a few weeks ago in one of our readings where either we need to plan something out or someone else might be very strategic when they're not acting like it. It's strategic, it's smart, and it's observant. That's a big thing with this card. So there could be someone that's got you under the magnifying glass. Maybe you got someone under the magnifying glass, because look, we have this card of routine day-to-day life, and now this guy is like he's watching. Like, that's kind of how this feels to me, similar to the Page of Swords. He's observing something. So I'm not sure if that's you being extra observant or there's just something being watched. That's the big thing I'm picking up. Now, a good thing about the King of Swords, it's usually very straightforward, honest, and to the point, no frills. So your communication style could be that way this time. He could be extra blunt. But a challenge with him, he could be cutthroat. He could be very mean. It could be out for himself. So we need to watch out for this. Now, moving to the back end, we have our power card, our strongest power card, the Death card. And listen, I normally tell most signs, don't be afraid of this. Listen, this is our power card. We know all about it, right? Like, this doesn't mean worst case scenario. It represents transformation. It represents change. Phoenix rising from the ashes. And that's a big theme that a lot of people with heavy Scorpio placements, we relive over and over and over, whether we like it or whether we don't. So this Death card is remaking oneself. And I do like it. It can represent change, and it can also represent karmic situations, but especially in a Scorpio reading, it has extra strength because it's us leaning into our power, leaning into our strengths in a positive way. So as you can see, all of these cards have a certain sense of authority to them. That's what is like really intriguing to me. So it's going to be, I can't wait to really see what else these cards have for us. So I want to dive deeper on all of it, Scorpio. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay. Let's get a good shuffle here. What do we got for Scorpio, please? What do we got? And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on Mr. Hierophant. Oh, and yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Scorpio, you can drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, why is the Hierophant here, please? Quick, super quick. All right, so this could be something or someone that's just like really difficult to get off the mind. Either that or this is someone that has their mind set. The Four of Cups to me is not really moving. It's not really doing much. It's very daydreamy. It's extremely imaginative. But it, as with all fours, it's not really doing too much in the physical. So just know in this time for a lot of us Scorpios, we might get caught in dreamland, imagination land. Our head might be in the clouds a little more so than normal. But when I see the Four of Cups, it's something that is on the brain. And it's like, I don't want to say it's like plaguing your thoughts. But when I see the Hierophant and the Four of Cups, it's like, it's a thought, and this thought will not leave. It's something that's in my head, and now that it's in my head, I can't unthink it, right? It's like once you cross a bridge, you can't uncross it. That's like the vibe I'm picking. So peculiar this week. Now, the Four of Cups underneath the Hierophant could also be a little frustrating sometimes, and it could also link into this strategy I was picking up too, where it's like, no, I'm thinking, I'm planning. I don't want to make anything look too out of the ordinary or out of the usual. I don't know why these themes are showing up here. But it's like, I'm going to keep my regular routine and nothing's going to be out of the normal, but I'm going to do this, this, and this. There's like a lot of strategy going on here. Okay. I don't necessarily feel like this is a bad thing. I feel like it just tells me that either this is someone that's got you on the mind like 24/7, or you got someone or something that's just on the brain. It's like, you can't unthink it. You can't unsee it. You can't unthink it. So let's keep moving. I don't want to say it's like an invasive thought, because to me, it just feels like a thought that's latched on. So whether it's an idea, I mean, it doesn't have to be a bad thing. For some of you, this could be a really good thing. But it's like once this thought has been thought, there's like no turning back. Well, we're getting such wild messages. Let's keep moving. Let's keep moving. It's like you can't unsee it. Let's see what's up. So why is the King of Swords here? What's he doing? Okay. Yeah, this is an energy that thinks it's slick. That's so odd, Scorpio. Like, it thinks it's smooth. It thinks it's slick. I have the Sun in reverse underneath this King of Swords. It's like, nah, but I see what you're doing. I know what you're doing. There could be someone that you're connected to or that's in your circle where it's like, they think they're 2 steps ahead, but you might be 5 steps ahead. That's such a peculiar, very particular message to come up here. But it's like, all right, well, you think you're being smart, but I know what you're doing. I'm connecting the dots. I know what you're doing. It's just giving me that type of energy. And again, when I see the Sun in reverse, usually that's a very positive card. It does link to Leo. So if you're connected to Leo, it does have a bit of a different complexion. But to me, the Sun in reverse is usually like somebody trying to stay low key, but they can't. Right, the sun, nothing can hide under the rays of the sun. And I am also still getting this energy. There's like a surveillance of some sort. So whether it's a situation that you're keeping tabs on, maybe someone's keeping tabs on you, like there's an energy where it's like, I'm paying attention to this. So maybe for some of you, it could possibly be a situation that you need to continue to keep tabs on. It could be like a serious situation or an important one where it's like, all right, well, keep an eye on it. You could put your attention in other places, but keep an eye on this thing. Let's keep moving forward. We're just getting a lot of stuff. We're getting a lot of stuff. Let's see what the Death card has. Then we'll do a quick recap before we get into the shadow. Try to cover some of the things we're seeing here. So why is the Death card in the mix? So let's see. Super quick. Okay. So the energy I'm picking up here feels very intense. We do have an extremely positive card showing up here, Scorpio. We have the 10 of Cups. Now, for us, this could be something that turns out lovely, where it's like, all right, well, that's a win for me. It's a win for me. It might not be a win for you, but it's a win for me. Like, and I'm not saying that to like be selfish or sassy or anything like that, but I just feel like this energy up here, it's like totally different. This one on the back, us, the 10 of Cups, that's like win, victory, and it's huge. So it's like we got all this other stuff happening, but it's like, no, but I'm okay. I'm content. I'm happy. Like something goes your way. So there can most definitely be a few situations where it's like you're kind of predicting where it's going to go and you're going to be proven right. That's how this feels to me. It's like, well, you kind of see where it's going to go and you're going to be proven right in time. Where it's like, okay, well, yeah, I had a feeling that was going to happen. Again, so many intuitive messages this week, more so than usual. Now, the 10 of Cups could also represent heightened emotion. Surprise, surprise, in a Scorpio reading, right? Everyone knows that Scorpio feels things intensely. So when I see it under the Death card, it just says like you might just be feeling things a little more intensely than normal, which is a little wild, especially with what our baseline emotional energies are. But I also feel like this massive energy of a win and something going away that you predict it will. Okay, so it's very important to control those thoughts, possibly. Lots of different stuff here, Scorpio. Let's go through and do a quick recap. Then we'll get into the shadow. So a lot of stuff came out. I'm just going to try to tell you what I remember at this point. But if you kindly look in the box before the shadow, position number 1, we have the Hierophant with the 4 of Cups in the upright. So again, I did say it didn't feel like an invasive thought, but to me, it felt like a thought that once you have it, you can't unthink it. Like you can't unsee something. You can't unknow something. And it's something that's just in someone's head. Now, that could be you on someone else's mind. You're someone on your mind, too. If you're watching this for relationship things, it's like you're in my brain forever type of energy here. But it's also strategy. There's also planning going on underneath the surface of this. Moving to the center, we have the King of Swords with the Sun in reverse. This also made me feel a lot of things. I did say that this could be, it felt like surveillance. So whether it's a situation, important or serious one that you need to keep an eye on, or whether it's someone watching your moves or you're watching someone else's moves, it's like I'm watching you, I'm clocking you, I see what's going on. Watch out for any individuals that are trying to be slick, trying to be smart, because it's like, you know, I see what you're doing. I see what you're trying to do. It's like somebody, you thinking a couple of steps ahead of somebody else. So don't be surprised if that pops up. Moving to the back end, we have the Death card with the 10 of Cups in the upright. So first and foremost, this is a beautiful energy of wins and victories. I do feel for a lot of Scorpios, you will be content with how something goes down, but it's like you already knew what was going to happen. It's very predictive. So it's like, yeah, no, I already knew. I knew that was going to go on. So it's like you'll be proven right with something, with what I'm seeing here on the back. I did also see the charged up emotions, like a little more so than normal. So keep that in mind. Please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. That was some reading this week. Let's see what's in the shadows. And yeah, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. It could be a good thing. So let's get you one. And yes, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. All right, let's get this going here. What's in the shadows for Scorpio gang? What is in the shadows? Thank you. Hey, the King of Cups, aka Kyle of Cups himself, with a tentacle beard in this funky deck, right? So again, another power card for Scorpio. So I do like this in the shadows. So again, I'm not sure what every Scorpio in the world's going through. Some of you might be going through some good times. Some of you might be going through rough times. Some of you might be pretty damn bored. But when I see this card showing up in the shadows, it's like, you're going to be in your element. You're going to be fine. This is a powerful energy, and I love seeing our power cards show up multiple times within the same spread because I like it. Again, there is something comforting about this energy, even though it wasn't all like 100% positive. There's something that's comfy about it where it's like I'm in my element. So I do like this, but I feel like the shadow side, the challenge of this King of Cups is just like the Death card with the 10 of Cups we saw. There is a lot of intense feeling and emotion. Okay, so for a lot of Scorpios, if you are going through some things, having an outlet for that is extremely important with the King of Cups. Watch out for love and relationships too when this card's here. So yeah, Scorpio, we're going to leave it at that this week, my beautiful friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the March subscriber surprise. If you would like to book a personal reading with me and get a little glimpse into whatever situations you're dealing with, you can check out my digital calendar on my website, mastermetaphysics.com. The March schedule is up and live, but for the March subscriber surprise, giving away 3 copies of one of my most favorite decks, the Everyday Witches Tarot. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things, as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed, and second, let me know down in the comments, where in this beautiful big world are you from? I'll go first. I'm from New Jersey, and you could just put it down in the comments and you'll be entered to win. And at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll talk to you soon.